Greetings, greetings, greetings. You are now tuned into the vault. Trust Christian own nothing, control everything. Just want to thank you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Always appreciate you for tuning in live, listening to replay. Got a bunch of people that are listening in a replay, and I always appreciate everybody that's tuning in new. Feel free to hit the like and the subscribe button. Always appreciate everybody that wants to continuously listen to the program. You're listening to the voice of Trust Christian over at the Vault. Definitely appreciate everybody for tuning in live once again and listening to replay, hitting the like, hitting the subscribe. This episode, my status correction, is brought to you all by popular demand, based off the fact that we've had this question come up over a period of time, and we're just going to have a conversation about it and do our best to answer the questions in the public where this question just comes up. It's a lot of mysticism around it, so my status correction. So the first question they do is they come on the trust. They'll come on the consultation and they'll say, "Well, is me getting a trust going to be a status correction? What is that? What does trust have to do with status correction?" This is the question that they ask. So the question is it public or private? The trust. Then we want to talk about the whole status correction. What are you correcting the status for? If you're already a human flesh and blood being and you know that, and you know that you're private, they say, "Oh man, well I got to correct my status for the public." What are you going to do? What you going to put the public on notice about? "Oh well, that name right there, I own it." That's where we're going to go. We're going to go straight to it because if you own something, you're liable for it. Well, I want to capture it. I want to redeem it. I want to do a status correction. I want to do what they say. I want to do a so they want to do secure party. We can talk about it. Oh, secure party creditor, that's going to help us correct our status. Okay, do you own the name? Yeah, I own the name. The gurus over the internet didn't tell me how not to own the name because I want to own the name. I want to own my name. I want to own the government name. But then I remember Trust Christian involving you all. You all told us that we got to do, what did they say? Uh, I know I'm not supposed to own it. Right. So when they come to that crossroads, we get back to the point that they say, "Oh, well, I don't want to own it." So then how are you going to control it? The status correction of the name. How I want to control the name Christian and Trust Christian of what I want to control the name. You want to control the name for what? It's the worst entity. The social's the worst entity to do business in. But they want to control the name of the entity. They want to control the SSN, something that's not theirs. You didn't create the SSN. Can't legally describe what it is. Legally describing, is it a part of an adhesion contract? Is it a contract that you sign? People are trying to take over contracts for something they didn't even create. Hold on, did you create the trust that you're gonna put the name into though? Did you, the creator? So we had a comment that was posted on the episode the other day that we did. It's called what is it called? My trust. That's what it's called. So we're gonna read the comment. We want to let you all know we easily can. We're gonna throw out a few terms. If we get a bunch of dialogue through the chat, then we'll elaborate on it. We'll even get the dictionary. We read the definition out of the fifth what is it? The fifth, well, no, fourth edition actually, fourth edition of the Black's Law Dictionary, and we went to it because this particular individual said that they're the executor of a decedent's estate. We're not gonna get it wrong, but ladies and gentlemen, you can't play word games with good lawyers. Like, if you think lawyers are dumb, we never said that at the vault. We don't think lawyers are dumb. We think these people are people. And in turn, when you're talking to them, they're the ones that studied the law. You got people listening to the stuff over the internet and the YouTube thinking that they're a lawyer, thinking that they can, I guess you can outsmart a lawyer. First of all, lawyers are not, we don't speak on lawyers' behalf, but the lawyers we come in contact with end up specializing in a specific field. That doesn't mean, from what we can see, they don't have access to the law that you may be describing that they don't know. They can go get access to it. They can go get access to cases that you may not have access to. They can go get those cases. So it's very important to befriend lawyers throughout that process. Somebody says, "Oh man, why would I befriend a lawyer? They work for the bar association. They work for the state." No, they work for themselves. They're going through the bar as a licensing professional management tool. to say that they're going to uphold certain standards. Why? Because not all lawyers are created equal. Not everyone is created equal. It's just not like this isn't a bad thing. It's just a reality. It's what it is. So my status correction, people say, "Oh man, do I need a lawyer around?" Okay, do you need a lawyer around? That's the question. Do you? Do I need a lawyer around? We're gonna find out. Do you need a lawyer around for real? Definitely want to talk about it today. Because this is very important when we sit here and we talk about trusteeship, people wanting to be involved in trusteeship. You got guys over the internet or people on the internet saying all type of stuff. So we definitely are looking forward to. Oh man, I'm trying to find this chat question. Oh boy, where's the comments? All right, great. Don't want highlighted comments. Okay, great. So shout out to Brett's Easy Life 4263, which could be a fake person. It is what it is. We're just reading the comment so you all can get a better idea of the style of comments people reach out about this whole status correction. And we're gonna go over it through a Black's Law dictionary, and there's nothing wrong with that. But just know that there's different elements to what you're talking about, and having a good team around you is excellent. So the whole status correction is the theme around, oh, I don't want to be considered property of the state by acquiescence, by omission, the fact that I haven't made a proper claim. Okay, are you making a claim commercially or are you making a claim privately? That's the difference. A status correction, is a status correction private or public? You gonna go to a public place and put something on notice. It's like somebody saying, how do you register a private trust? You don't hear about that because they're not registered in the public. So when we talk about the status correction, is it public or is it private? Here's a comment that we got from the My Trust thought process, which is personal conversation. It's not business. Business is not focused on my. Business is focused on serving the most important people, which are the clients, the customers. So the comment says the whole idea of putting your stuff into a trust, you give it to a trust and the trust owns it, not you anymore. Great. But then they spelled the word that it may just means they made a typo. It says your trust. So they went right back into the whole thought process that we did the episode on, which is called My Trust. So they says your trust owns the trust. You don't anyone when you change the title of the trust name. Okay, ladies and gentlemen. Once again, we encourage you all to get in front of attorneys, ladies and gentlemen. We didn't get this good by sitting around just talking to people that have no clue about the law and the people that actually are going to help you out when it comes down to it. We've interviewed enrolled agents on this channel before. We have no problem with connecting with people and at all different levels. Okay, so the fact that they made a typo, we appreciate it if they would have typed it correctly so we don't misunderstand what they're saying. It says your trust owns the trust. Do you hear how that sounds? So how's that business? It's personal. How does that? How's that the what was this episode about? How's that a status correction? Saying I don't want to own something, I want to control it, but then the trust I own owns the trust, but I don't own it anymore because you changed the title to the trust name. Okay. It says when you get a foreign grantor EIN, so it says then you get a foreign grantor. First of all, how you in the United States getting a foreign grantor? We love to hear how you do it. We're not asking, not saying it's impossible. We're asking how you do it. It says to get a 508c1a, a faith-based organization EIN, to donate everything into, and it's tax exempt. Now, ladies and gentlemen, how you going private? How you got a status correction, and you're applying for an EIN for a faith-based organization? And why are they doing it? You already know why they're doing it. For tax purposes. That's why it's tax exempt. That's why they're saying that. So we listening to them. We're hearing them out. 508c1a. And so we did research on it. We are not familiar with this. Why? Because, ladies and gentlemen, we're dealing with some of the largest endowments, largest companies in the world. They're not that. So for all the ones out here that's talking about 508, because the status correction people, the gurus are saying you want to get a faith-based organization, EIN. First of all, how are they telling you to get correct your status, but they telling you to get the EIN? They telling you to get the EIN. How you gonna get an EIN with a social? But this is where the comments come from. This is why we have been on and doing episodes for years, talking to people about various different subjects and this particular aspect of business. What do you say? You perfect the title and trust with the UCC financing statement. So is the trust public or private? Once again, that's what we having a conversation about. Not only are we asking the question, is it public or private? Is the UCC public or private? The UCC was created from the government. It wasn't created by just a private individual. Otherwise, it would still be private. It's in the public. It's a commercial code for the public, so we can uniform and make sure that it's a regulatory deal for contracts. It's stated that way. But they said you perfect the title to the trust with the UCC financial statement. This is the information that's on the internet. What it is, what it is. This is what's on the internet. This is why people, when they come to us, they say, I want to correct my status. The UCC now is a financial statement? No, it is not. A statement. Sure, we hear it as a statement. Sure, it's a financial statement. It's not a full financial statement. It's a statement stating creditor and debtor relationship and what that entails. So financing statement, not just a financial statement. So then we go right back to comment, because you'll hear that these individuals that are over the internet will never speak about having a trust. Why? Because that's not private. We talk about trusteeship. That's what we talk about at the vault. Are you a trustee? Because if you're a trustee, it's a little bit more generic and it's not yours if you're just a trustee. But they haven't heard that though. So they have to sneak in. They have to listen to the vote. They have to prepare because they really are thinking selfishly. They have not ingrained themselves into the thought process and into the lifestyle that it is not theirs, that they're giving up ownership. They haven't given up ownership. So what did they say? They say this line, end quote, from the Brett's Easy Life 4263. Appreciate the comment once again. I use revocable trust. I think they are best because I can terminate it and I can move everything into another trust if need be. Really? So that means you own it. Oh, you want to get around it? Oh, I don't own it. Did you create the trust? Let's go there. Are you still the trustee when you created the trust? Oh, hold on. Are you the beneficiary? Right. I'm an executor of a, this is what they say in quote, the next comment they made. I'm an executor of a public decedent estate. Comma. So the fact that they put a comma means that it's a sentence. They're an executor. Ladies and gentlemen, we doubled down on definitions, because when you get in the courtroom and you get in front of anybody that's sophisticated that knows what we're talking about, they're not going to let you play word games with them talking about I'm an executor of the public decedent estate. Because if you're an executor, are you the creator? And then how are you the creator over a decedent's estate? Decedent means they dead, right? Right. So this is what they say in the public. This is the question is, who trusts Christian in the vault? The government name is a dead entity. The government name, it is what they say, it is a decedent's estate. The government entity, it is a what else do they say? It is they try to say it's a decedent's estate. That's what this individual has said. I'm an executor of a decedent estate. So are you the trustee or the executor? We could easily ask you that question. Are you the executor or are you the trustee? Well, both. Okay. Okay. But what's so interesting is literally in the next sentence they let us know. Now we don't know what FGT, so if you feel that you listen to this episode, you can definitely go back and comment on that episode, My Trust, or even in this episode, we'll see it. A trustee to a FGT private trust. Okay. What's the point of telling us that? This is how you know people aren't private. We appreciate people for commenting. There's ways to comment that don't expose the position that you have. They say, I'm a banker for the name bank estate. Now, this is where we always get in on trustees and we let them know and we ask them and we talk to them. So, first of all, you said it was a decedent's estate. Now it's a bank estate. This is word games, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, the bigger case, the upper case, the lower case. This is the conversation you're going to hear. And if you have heard it already, I am a banker of the name bank estate and trust CEO. So are you the trustee or are you the CEO? I'm both. Okay. We start hearing people wearing a bunch of hats, and guess what? That's called the alter ego. Did you know about that term? Because these are real terms. These are terms that when you sit in front of lawyers or whoever, they're going to sit here and they're going to listen to what you're saying. You're saying that you are everything. I hold capacities to the trust. This is what the individual said. Other than that, I am Nemo. Nobody. And that's where the challenge is, ladies and gentlemen. Are you taking quote unquote ownership? Are you taking responsibility for the positions that you hold and what those positions entail? They want to be nobody. You're not nobody. You're a trustee. You're not nobody. You're a CEO. You're not nobody. You're an executor. Those roles come with responsibilities. It doesn't. You can't just say, "Well, I'm nobody." First of all, the trust can't drive the company car. The trust can't live in the trust house. Did you know that? So how are you? How are you nobody when it needs you as the trustee? The trust, but they want to correct their status. Oh, I want to correct my status. From what? A nobody to a somebody. First of all, if the decedent's estate name is a bank supposedly and all these other things, why are people doing business out of their personal name? There is no wealthy people doing business out of their personal name. Donald Trump doesn't even do business out of his personal name. They try to say recently they found some stuff in his personal name. Ladies and gentlemen, what if you're a billionaire and you have less than $1 million in your personal name? Do you see the discrepancy? You're a billionaire, quote unquote, because businesses value equity, and then you get into, oh well, only I have less than $1 million in assets and cash in my name. So once again, my status correction: is it yours? My public. My status correction. What do you need to do? Ultimately, it just comes down to people doing business the proper way. They're not saying they want to do business the proper way. They're saying that they're going through a status correction. That means I want to change my mindset and get into a position where I'm in control and I'm not being hit as an owner. That's all it is. Fair enough. You don't want to be controlled. You don't. Somebody said, I don't want to be messed with. I don't want to be bothered. Okay. Are there common law rules? Are there common law laws? Common law rules? My status correction. How does your status correction fall into the common law where we are grouped together so we can still have some level of non-anarchy? Where is that at? Where is that thought process at? These are the things that we ask and we think about and we communicate with people. They reach out. Oh man, what does getting into trusteeship have to do with going my status correction? We'll share with you in a very simple line. First of all, if you're doing business in your name, it's public. The status correction, what are they trying to go private? Yeah, then you stop doing business in your name. That's it. Your status correction. Hold on, what you mean? I don't have to go fill out thousands of dollars worth, hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars worth of paperwork so I can get the paperwork printed out and I can do what? File it on the public record? That's what you're going to do? You're going to file your private status correction on public record. Well, how would I let people know that I'm private? Trust Christian in the vault. Right. You want to know how you do that? By not getting involved at all. Oh no, Trust Christian in the vault. I really was looking to, get my status corrected because, right now I got a job. That's why we encourage y'all to listen to the episodes with Dr. Bay because we cater our audience towards entrepreneurs, people that want to think for themselves, people that want to create for themselves, people that want to create for their dreams, create their goals, their own. Do you want to be in control of that? Oh man, I gotta make sure that what's the status correction? The status correction is, oh man, I'm not going to do business in my name anymore. See, they don't want to tell you that. They want to tell you to file paperwork on the public record that states what? I own my name. Now I'm even more in a position of liability because I publicly stated that I own a name. So who's responsible for the debts on the name? And then we get into this conversation about discharge. Oh man, discharging a debt or offsetting a debt. This, that, and the third about the debt. The debt isn't real. The money isn't real. Are you real? Yeah. So when you trade time for money, when you create a labor exchange, and someone gives people Federal Reserve notes or capital, doesn't even have to be Federal Reserve note. What if somebody paid you in gold? That's a status correction. Y'all want to go there today? Let's go there. What does a status correction look like? Are you getting paid in gold? Are you getting paid in gold? Oh no, I'm not getting paid in gold. I'm getting paid in the Federal Reserve notes. I'm trying to go to digital currency because that's outside of the government. I'm going to go to the digital currency. Ladies and gentlemen, do you pull the digital currency into an American bank with a social attached? My status correction. Am I getting paid to a social? Or is the trust getting paid? Big difference. Is the foundation getting paid? Is the corporation getting paid? Who's getting paid? My status correction is who's getting paid? Are you getting paid? Is your social security number? Is the social security number getting paid? Who's getting paid? Who's liable for accounting? Who's liable for it? My status correction, though. My status correction. I gotta correct my status, Trust Christian in the Vault. I can't let people just have control over my name. It's me. How do they get to control my name? How do they get to tax my name? Well, remember, you're in a common law jurisdiction, right? Are you in a common law jurisdiction where you're able to maintain your privacy? So that you got to learn the proper way to do things and execute it. That's all. There's a proper way, there's a right way, and then there's a wrong way. That's it. Appreciate everybody for tuning in live, listen to replay. Always appreciate everybody that tunes in live, listens in the replay. Peace and joy.